Hi sweeties, how are you doing? Welcome to Naya Sim. If this is your first time of coming across this channel, sweetheart, kindly smash that subscribe button, turn on the notification so you get notified each time I upload, and please give this video a thumb up. I appreciate you, and I want to say a very big thank you to every one of you for always coming back to watch my videos and subscribing. You all are super awesome. Thank you all so much. So today I will be showing you all what this white man actually spoke about all the shooting going on in America, and he was asking white people, like white people always say, or they keep saying, not everything is all about race. And he was telling them, but you all see that all the shooting that has been going on, it's been white people doing all the shooting. What if they were black? Right? I mean, he spilled all the golden truth here, and you know what? Just stay glued to the screen. Let me roll the clip, and then we'll come back to talk about it. And let me know what you all think in the comment section, because a lot of people were stitching, reposting, and duetting to this video. And they are like really telling him thank you for being a great voice, because he has always been speaking the truth. Let me roll the clip.
A white buddy of mine today said, Dixon, not everything's about race, man. Right, buddy? I told him, I said, it ain't never been about race. Because, I found out that about 95% of these school shootings is by white people. Almost all of them is done by white people. And there's been hundreds of them now. Hundreds of mass shootings all around the country. But imagine if it was brown and black folks that were shooting up in white schools. But, yeah, that wouldn't make any difference, right? And he said, well, of course not, Dixon. That ain't going to make no damn difference in gun control. It's the Second Amendment. I said, yeah, it's funny, though, in 1968, they had the Black Panthers with AK-47s and whatnot and assault rifles, and they were arming themselves. And by God, the first time they passed common sense gun laws. I mean, they banned the fucking assault rifle. All this amazing shit happened. But, yeah, you're right. If it was black and brown people shooting up white schools, well, no, that wouldn't make any difference. I said, you know what? You're right, buddy. It ain't about race. That's why they want to ban CRT, because we ain't got no real racism in our history. That's why they want to ban wokeism and ban racial consciousness, because there ain't no racism here. There never was. From slavery to assassination, Abraham Lincoln, MLK to Jim Crow, man, it ain't never been about race, and it never will be. And that's why they got all that legislation to stop black books and to ban and criminalize black books and black history, because it ain't never been about race, none of it. And we're supposed to just sweep it under the carpet and not talk about it. We're supposed to normalize denying and gaslighting white supremacy, because that's the goddamn motherfucking American way, right, buddy? But this time he was getting pretty red in the face. I don't know why, but I'm just saying, it's not about race, right? The KKK in Tennessee, founded in Pulaski, Tennessee, was never about race. Those 3 state representatives, 2 of them being expelled today, and the white one not being expelled for the exact same behavior, not about race. You're right. Nothing in America is about race, and that's why they're fighting so hard to not talk about race. Because if we don't talk about it, we'll never fix it. And the system and the culture of white supremacy will keep right on shining throughout the land. And in reality, that's what you want, my friend. The one who says, not everything's about race. You're right. Not everything's about race in the mind of a white person. But if you're not white, every fucking thing is about race. But to talk about it as a white person makes you uncomfortable, makes you have to face your own fucking immorality, your own fucking inhumanity. Wow. Can you imagine that as a white person, having to face your own immorality and inhumanity? That's too much. You should just be able to sweep it under the carpet, keep the system alive, continue to benefit, have privileges. That's what it's all about, right? You're right. That's how white supremacy works. And that's why it'll never be fixed until you get uncomfortable and face the fucking truth as white people. Let's just say we're probably no longer friends.
They're no longer friends, probably. So there are so many stitches. I mean, so many stitches, and I was able to bring the best to you all. And you know what? Let's get into the stitches and see what people are saying about it. Let's say everything is not about race. Let's find out. So here we go.
A white one not being expelled for the exact same behavior, not about race.
Yes, please go back and watch his entire video because he summarized perfectly what a lot of us feel. A lot of us feel when we hear people say it's not about race. Some people, I want to put that disclaimer, because what we automatically hear is that you're a gaslighter. You know, but you want to keep things the same. You like the status quo. You like the white only spaces that you're allowed to go into and that keeps people like me out. You like the all-white schools, the all-white neighborhoods, the all-white communities, the all-white organizations. And I'm not talking about supremacy ones. I'm talking about just your community. When you see a car pull up at the house next door to yours and it's a for sale sign in their yard and you see somebody who looks like me get out that car, does your heart kind of like pitter-patter a little bit? Because what happens to the quality of the neighborhood? Never mind that the fact that I'm looking at the house means that I qualify to live in that neighborhood, maybe sometimes more than you do. But it's just my skin. When I hear people say it's not about race, I hear you saying that you get treated the same way at hospitals, even though Black women lead the rates of high mortality rates when it comes to having children or just any situation. We are not believed by our doctors. I believe that when I hear it's not about race, that we didn't literally have to find a Black woman to fill the Supreme Court justice seat. Literally found the best candidate we've ever had. Would not have found them if Biden had not specifically said he wanted a Black woman. See, that's where affirmative action comes in. Not saying you're not qualified, but since you're Black, come on. It's saying you're the most qualified, and because you're Black, we're not going to discriminate against you. A lot of world problems that we're having right now is because we're not in the room. Do you know how many millions, forget that, they say trillions of dollars America loses every year because of racism? Not giving Black people loans that they deserve or they work hard for or they qualify for. Opportunities. They lose out on taxes. They lose out on money being made from interest rates. They lose out on so much stuff just to keep white only spaces. And it's becoming so dangerous because the world now, especially America, cannot operate on white only money. Because half of middle white America are uneducated and they're broke. So when we hear it's not always about race, it's not all about race, we know you're lying.
A white buddy of mine today said, Dixon, not everything's about race, man. Right?
So I got a few stories along these lines, but in 2020, during the protests in Seattle, I had met a quote-unquote proud boy. He had come, according to him, because he had saw on the news and different media stations that we were insurrectionists, that the protesters were all causing violence and yada, yada, yada. That wasn't the case, which he soon discovered. The first day he came, security team came to me saying that a Proud Boy had come and wanted to speak to the leader of the protests. And I said, Now, mind you, I didn't want to lead the protest, but apparently I gave a few good speeches and I have critical thinking that people listen to. So I was appointed. Another story for another time. So instead of me going there, because we know open carry laws in Washington, you can walk around with an assault rifle. They don't give a fuck. I asked the security team to handle it. We had open discussion couches where we had therapists and basically just open discussions for people if you had questions, you wanted to learn the history, or if you had things that you were uncomfortable talking about in race and you just wanted to learn more, you can go there and talk to people and just have a friendly atmosphere on it. And there was also security there just in case things got out of hand. You feel? So he goes there, and the next day he comes back. This man was 70 years old, and he had said that he had never actually spoken or met Black people in his life before. What he saw on the news was completely false. It wasn't an insurrectionist movement. It wasn't a violent protest. It was peaceful until certain random individuals. That what he saw on the news was a complete false. It wasn't a violent protest. It wasn't an insurrectionist movement. It was peaceful until certain individuals got their hands involved into it. He even brought his family the next day without guns, just to enjoy the space. Ben and Jerry's came by and gave out free ice cream to everybody. That's what that space was. And that's what can happen when people realize that the divisions that are created by the powers that be, the elitism that controls the society, is what brainwashes them into thinking that their fellow human is their enemy. Distracted into thinking that their illusionary safety net of freedom is true freedom. I said this when I was giving speeches back in 2020s, and I'll reiterate it. You are not free in this society. Hell, even the elite aren't free in this society. They're indoctrinated into this monetary system that gives them this false sense of power. There is only one enemy, elitism. Remove it, eradicate it. It has been nothing but a stain on this world. This system is a mind game. We don't need violence to break it, but, I'm not one to tell you not to use it to defend yourself and your family and those that you love. In the words of Daenerys Targaryen, it's time to break the motherfucking will. Peace, love, and light.
A white buddy of mine today said, Dixon, not everything's about race, man. Right?
I got my main page is 137-ish 0.45,000 followers, and I'm gonna post this video on my main page. I'm telling you this because I'm not trying to not give you credit, but I'm gonna use this video every time someone comes to me and say, well, man, why it gotta be about race? We're all one family. Now, that only makes sense if you check out my page. It's Greedy Boy 7. All right. But this video hit it. And the thing about it is that I don't care. I'll say what the fuck I want to, but it doesn't hit like it's supposed to because of what I look like. But because of you looking the way you do, saying exactly the way that I would say it, I got to co-sign this video. Thank you.
A white buddy of mine today said, Dixon, not everything's about race, man. Right?
Good morning, TikTok. Go watch that video. Go follow that creator. He's amazing. Listening to his story and his experience. If you're white and you're an ally, I just think that we need to always learn because my experience is never firsthand. He's amazing. Go watch that. But what happened in Tennessee was a very, very, very obvious call for Black and brown people to recognize their place. And I think it was also a very, very obvious call to white women to say, like, you can stay and play with us, but you have to play with us, right? So I just can't believe this is happening. I'm 43 years old, and all I've known is freedoms in my lifetime, right? I've never had things taken from me. They've only been granted or they were already granted in my lifetime. So all I know is my grandfather fought in World War II. He was actually captured by the Germans. He was a prisoner of war, and he has one of the longest records of captivity. And my father was career military and had cancer from Agent Orange exposure in Vietnam and died when I was young. So I'm really struggling that, not just my family members, but so many other people have fought against this and wars, and so many people have already died for this to fight fascism. And here we are in 2023 in my lifetime that I never thought I would see this. We need to organize and we need to hit the streets. All right.
All right, so these are all I could gather from the stitches, and so you all heard it. I absolutely want to read all you got to say about this. Let me know what you all think in the comment section. Did he nail it? Was he right? Or did he was there any mistake or any error while he was speaking? Thank you all so much for all the support. I appreciate you all, and see you all in my next video. Bye for now.